relationship stems from various factors and reasons. Money, sex, family, and friends all find their way as the drivers of relationships or marital crisis. However, a very subtle factor has created havoc and destroyed many relationships that we don't always talk about. It is like the elephant in the room. People don't always want to talk about it because it sounds complicated and for the most part confusing. That is the subject I want to discuss today. Submission in marriage. Most marriages are under tension and they tend to find a way to navigate their religious or cultural beliefs, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim. The demand put on women to submit to their husbands is central to the beliefs of this religion. Most African cultures teach their women to submit to their husbands. Today, in this era of progress and global connections, there's a movement gaining momentum. Are you ready for an incredible experience? I need to call a friend, call your neighbor, and invite them to join you for this. It's going to be amazing. And the insights shared today will address many of the challenges we face on this topic. Get ready to be inspired, and let's dive into today's episode.
SMOPPY'S World. Life Big Questions answered daily.
Hey friends, this is your beautiful, ever-smiling host, Lady Ola. I'm thrilled to have you join us back on SMOPPY'S World. If you're new here, you've come to the right place. Listen, always take the time to spread the love and encourage others to share this inspiring episode with them as well. Don't forget to connect with us on all our social media platforms. I'd really appreciate it if you could leave your comments in the comment section. I absolutely love having conversations with you there. Listen, your input means a lot to me. The audio version is also available now on Spotify. Guys, at SMOPPY'S World. Today, I've been eagerly waiting for this moment, guys. I've been waiting to discuss this topic with my special guest for a long time because of his fantastic teaching skills. Today, joining me is a dynamic, intelligent, and engaging public speaker who also holds a PhD in food science. This amazing guy isn't just a dedicated professional. He also serves as a minister of the gospel and a grace teacher. As the oversight apostle of Grace Outreach Global Church Worldwide, he brings so much wisdom and kindness. He's not just an amazing husband, but also a loving father of 6 children. Dr. Victor Olusegun Aigbogun is also my best friend. He's my mentor and my strong support system. Let's all warmly welcome him to SMOPPY'S World. Dr. Victor, welcome back to SMOPPY'S World.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Hey, something is about to go down here.
Let it go down.
Hey, I'm super excited to have you here again, baby.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Out of your busy schedule, I know you're very busy and, taking time to come and, hang out with me here and also believing in me and supporting me on what I do. I really, really appreciate you, baby.
Doing a good job. You're doing a good job. I'm proud of the work you're doing.
Oh, my husband is proud of me.
Congratulations and blessings to your crew and everyone supporting you as well.
Thank you. You and I have been, we've been in different relationships before we both found each other. As pastors, we've counseled many people who are dealing with relationship crisis. One thing that is common in our counseling is that this issue, this elephant, this thing that nobody wants to talk about is submission. And I really want us to really help people today.
Yep.
I know you will do justice to it, and I can't even wait for you to start opening your mouth and say something.
Don't know about that. I'll do my best.
I really want us to help folks who may not be sure about submission and also help people who are struggling with this subject. So let me ask you my first question. What does submission mean to you in a relationship? And must a wife submit to her husband?
Right. Again, thank you for having me. And that's a beautiful question. What does submission mean to me? I would say
In a relationship.
in a relationship,
Mhm.
I would say let's just define submission first,
Okay.
and then I can express what I think
Mm.
about it and what it means to me, or what it should really mean. The dictionary meaning of submission is simply yielding to the will or authority of another person. That's what it means.
Yielding.
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 Yeah.
Yielding.
Yielding.
Mm.
You know, giving way to the will or the authority of another person. That's what it means. That is the English true meaning of submission. And with that said, it becomes apparent that in marriage, if you ask me what does submission means to me, submission will mean what the English word says. It will mean yielding to the will and the authority of your husband
Right.
or your partner. That is what it means. And that's what it will mean to me. Should a woman submit to her husband? Yes, you should. Why would you not submit to your husband? If you don't submit to your husband, you're going to have some trouble. You're going to have crisis, problem. You're going to get some problem. You don't submit, you're going to have some problem. That is what it means. And that is exactly what tradition, religion has taught us to do. Now, let me be very clear. Everybody wants to be happy, right? So if you want to be happy in your marriage, you need to understand what submission really means and what it requires. Because you have to. The tradition, the religion that demanded that must have been misunderstood or misconstrued. But the pain of not submitting in relationship is very, 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 very high. It's worse than not having money in the house. It's even as pleasurable as sex is. We don't have to, I can chase you around the house, I'll chase you, I'll go get you. But what about you not happy within? Because the person that you are supposed to be has been subjected to something that you don't want to subject yourself to. So don't get me wrong. I want to break it down for you. You got to submit in marriage. Submission is critical for the success of every marriage. And that is why in this discussion, because of submission, beyond any reason why you should choose your man carefully as a woman, beyond any other reason, his family background, his educational background, and some cute, muscular, all of that, right?
Yes, sir.
You must think of submission when you are choosing the man to marry, because you got to submit.
So is submission a cultural thing or religious thing?
Right. That's why this is the most important question, because it's centered to religion, like your opening said. It's centered to tradition. And when you take religion, theology, whether it's Islamic theology, whether it's Christianity, theology is always a factor of interpretation. All right. So the theology of Islam and the theology of Christianity has that powerful word, submission, when it comes to marriage. But it's the most misunderstood text in the entire Bible. Trust me.
Right.
It is the most unbelievable misunderstood part of the Bible. A crazy pastor wants to control his wife, he will use the word submission. A man who is in church and the wife loves God will use that word to enslave, control his wife, because it's misunderstood. I'll tell you why. The word submission has a driver, and that driver is called control. So control is the main factor in submission. So whoever you turn the control
over to
of your life to is who you submit to. So when we give ourselves to God, we submit to God's will. When you give yourself over to a husband, you submit to the husband's will. But the truth about it is, it's not a husband-wife submission. If you look at the Bible, the Paul Apostle that used that key word, wife to submit to their husband, didn't start there.
Yes.
Okay? He asked them to submit to one another. Check your Bible.
Yes.
Ephesians chapter 5 verse 21. That's where it starts. Submit to one another. That means give the control, all right?
Yes, sir.
Give the control to the person that you have married in the area you want them to have the control. Can I go a little bit
Yes,
deeper?
sir.
If you are going to control anything, right?
Yes.
It's because you have a stake in that thing. So let me put it this way. Every woman, would you want your husband to be a strong protector?
Yes, I would.
Would you not?
Yes.
Would you marry a man who can protect you? No. You want a man that can protect you, because a wife needs the protection of a husband.
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
You
I
are
want to.
100%.
You need to be confident. Are you with me?
Yes.
That I can protect you. I can protect you financially. I can protect you emotionally. I can protect you from adversity. I can protect you from external force. I can protect you from aggressors. I am your husband. I am your protector. But you can't protect what you can't control. You cannot protect what you cannot control. That is why men always want to have control, because they have a responsibility to protect. And that ego of protection trigger the essence of control. So if you want to marry someone, the word control needs to ring bell in your mind as a woman. And I want you to hear me. There's a difference between control and controlling. This is where we get it wrong all the time. That's why you choose your man carefully. You need to give the control to your husband. That's why he's the husband. But you can't give the control of your life to a controlling man. Let's start there.
Yeah.
You cannot give the control of your life to a controlling man. A controlling man is driven by emotion. He's created that way. He's excessively in passion with his ego. He wants someone to serve and be subservient. That is a controlling man. A man who takes control is a man who cares, a man who protects, a man who supplies. That's the man you want to turn your life to. I can't be protecting you and I can't control you. Not controlling, but have control. If I can have control over the situation, then I can protect you.
I think that's where people get it wrong. You can have control over something and not be controlling.
Not be controlling.
When you're thinking about selecting a partner, choosing a partner, you said something that is so profound, that you need to be thinking about submission first. Because whether you like it or not, you're going to give the control of your life into the hand of that person. So who you choose matter.
Yeah.
Major problem that we have when we start dating each other. Submission is never in our radar. We are never thinking about submission. We're thinking about love. I'm loving this person is loving me. Even when we're seeing red flags of this person being a controller, we don't pay attention to that because we just thought, they're going to change. But you said we need to pay attention to who we are going to choose. Because whoever that you choose, you will have to submit under that person, the authority of that person, because that's the way it is. So that now takes me to my next question. To my understanding, submission, the way Apostle Paul put it in Ephesians, he used the word submit. Wives, submit to your husband. He didn't use the word obey. He used the word obey for the children to obey their parents. But there are many men who has interpreted submission to be obey. My question now is, how can you possibly recommend submitting to someone like that? And how do you make sure that giving in doesn't result in being controlled or manipulated?
Right. Let me start from where you pick it up. The biblical concept of submission was put in place and explained in what it means when a man submits to a woman and a woman submits to a man. Because in Christian, listen carefully, your pastor must have been lying to you. Yeah, I don't care what they say. Some will tell you, women don't you must do this, you must do that. You know, you need to kneel down in the morning for your husband. And all of that is beautiful or crazy. The Bible demanded, according to Paul, that we submit to one another. That's where it starts.
Yes.
That means a man needs to have a way by which he submit to his wife. Why? Because you gave yourself to the woman.
Man. Ooh, okay.
There is a way that a woman should submit to the husband.
Yes.
Because he said, submit to one another.
One another, yes.
So when he addressed the wife, he kept on using the word submit. But when he now say to you as husband, submission is triggered by love. Even though you've given, now that you have given yourself, you are not turning over control to the woman. You are giving her your love so that you can receive for your control or to be under your control. Control as in manage, control as in guide, control as in protect, control as in provide. So the expression of a love of a man to a woman is an act of submission. So that is why sometimes it's very difficult for an unloving man to find his wife submitting.
Right,
Because one begots the other. It's submission to one another.
Yes,
so if I'm not submitting to you, it becomes difficult for you to submit to me. The way by which I'm supposed to submit to you is me taking the position by which you are able to derive your own glory, your own power from what I give. What I give is my love.
Yes.
If I say I give myself, and you say you give yourself, then there should be a place where you have control and a place where I have control.
Yes.
So Paul Apostle was using the word submit because it's more relational, it's more friendly, it's more equal. It's not coming from the concept of the law. Because if it's coming from the concept of the law,
you would have used obey.
The word obedience. So you are not obeying, and that's why yielding to the will of someone or authority is what submission really means.
Because you're volunteering yourself.
Absolutely. So that submission is mutual. What I'm giving is what is driving. Now, remember where we started.
Yes.
If the guy is controlling, we are not having conversation. A controlling man is not a loving man. By nature, a controlling man is not a loving man. Why? A controlling man is a self-centered, selfish man. Because it will demand, he will put a demand on you to go against your own person, go against your own position, go against your own identity. Because he wants a servant, not a wife.
Not a wife.
All right, that's a controlling man. You don't want your daughter to be married to a controlling man. They are extremely dangerous. They have forces that is driving them. And that's why I said, before you start to say I do, before you start to look at other things, think about who you are about to submit to. Because if it's controlling,
that's deep.
That becomes the most dangerous thing. So let me just say this. Men don't find it funny if you tell them, especially by tradition or by religion, when you tell them to submit to their wife, that's crazy. But you got to submit to your wife. You gave yourself to the woman, so you have to submit. How? By loving, by standing in the place where she can have the confidence. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
That you are in control and she can go to rest.
Yes. You got it. Like you got the back. You got everything. You're protecting.
Exactly.
You're leading.
Yeah. That is the force of submission that drives the woman to loving needs, to honor you as a king. Can I go a little bit deeper? Villages, cities, countries appoint their king, but they're going to become a subject to that king.
Right.
Right? So that king, he's going to be their king, and they are going to be his subject. But they happens to be the one. It is them that has appointed their king. Whether it is a monarchy or not. Your original father that became the number one king that led to a monarchy was appointed by his people. Yes. He didn't force himself on them. If he forced himself on them, it would have been a war. Yes. They love him and they chose him. Yes. And his children's children continue to become the king. Yes. And the citizens are subjected to that king. Yes. You see a revolt. You see a rejection when the king is not caring and protecting. When the king is doing that, he's submitting to the subjects. And that triggers the subject to submit to the kingship. This is your king, baby. He's your king. He is your king. He's your king. You're going to have to carry him like your king. But he can't be a king when he's slaughtering you, when he's making you to bleed every day. How can he be a king when he's making you bleed every day? That is why the choice is critical, because submission is one of the most critical parts that hold relationship together.
No money, not the money.
money.
Over the course of my career, I've noticed that men struggle with giving their partners space to voice their opinion, their ideas. Does being submissive to a man means you have no voice?
No. And I think that is where the tension of submission becomes a pain.
Come on, let's have it.
So it's giving you the money. It's giving you the clothing, the house, the protection, and all of that. But it doesn't want you to have a voice. It's an essence of an artificial, unstable kind of love.
God.
Because what a man should fall in love with is your person that brings value and meaning to his life. If I am a man and my wife does not have a voice, then he can't add value to my life, or she can add the value to my life. How can she add value to my life when she doesn't have a voice? So that is the problem. When a man does not recognize your value for the purpose of the marriage, when he has been confused of what marriage truly means, when your purpose does not make sense to him, then he wouldn't see you as having, no matter how smart you are, he will never see you as having the intelligence to contribute to a discussion. So you don't have a voice. And here is where the pain comes. The pain then comes from you want to keep your marriage, but you feel like a slave. I'm also not talking about just for the men. It happens to the women. If you give your control as a man to your wife by the way you love, and the woman is a controlling freak, you got the same. It's the same pain. All right? And men with their ego can easily snap it out and walk away, but not all. What happens? Life is not all that equal. Maybe God has blessed your wife more than you. And now your wife is leveraging her position against you, and you don't have a voice. Then you want to keep your marriage, but you still want to live in pain. It's one of the most devastating things to men. It's the same thing. It's not different. Because you've given yourself to a woman, and therefore, in a way, you are submitting. You are loving. You don't want her to be hot. You don't want her to be angry. You want everything to be okay, because you are a man who loves your wife and showing her submission by loving. And the woman takes up, instead of her loving you back by submitting and treating you like a king, now he wants to treat you like a slave because of her position. That becomes a pain. And then you can't walk away from it. You have kids, you want to stay in the marriage, blah, blah. This is why submission creates pain, and it creates tension. You got to have a voice. If I love you, I'm the one to give you voice.
This subject is very dear to me because I'm dealing with a lot of family issues, dealing with marriages that are hemorrhaging, they are bleeding so bad. And some of them can't even figure out what the problem is. So us having this today is really a blessing to me.
Thank you.
Whatever your religion is, whether you're Muslim or you're a Christian, submission is foundational. That a man is meant to lead. Can you give us a picture or the picture of a man who is the leader in his home? No, that's one question. The second question that I want you to answer together is, how does one submit to a man that is not willing to lead?
I think the two questions are a little bit similar or the same. Remember this: no one leads without followers, right? You have to have a follower to be called a leader. So the first thing you have to know and recognize in a leader or a man who is a leader in his home is he builds his followers. Followers as in people from the wife to the children that they find him easy to follow. They follow his steps. They emulate his purpose. They recognize his passion, and he guides them into their own individual identity. That's when you know someone who is leading. Your husband cannot be a leader and at the same time wants you to do only what he thinks is right when he does not actually know all that is right. We put our kids together. We come together, we have conversation. We ask our children to say their opinion. And as challenging as I can be in terms of challenging people's intelligence and making them think a little bit deeper, my kids they find it comfortable to ask me questions, to challenge me, to tell me, that's not it.
That's not it.
You need to think about that, because we are to submit to one another. And the leader is not leading if there are no followers. And so if you don't build your followers, you are not leading. So in your home, you will know that this man is leading when he's carrying everybody along, not subjecting them to tension of which they end up not having their own identity. Because everyone that the leader is leading have their own purpose, passion, and power that they bring to the common goals. That's how you know a man that is leading in his home.
Okay. So Dr. Vic, it's been amazing. You've been giving us some goodies.
Gotta pay me. Got some money?
Well, we'll have to bring you back next week.
I look forward to it.
We need to finish what we started because it was getting good, but we have to keep up to time. So thank you for taking your time to come and feed us today. Then we will see you in the next episode, right?
Surely will.
You will not leave me nor forsake me, right?
No.
Okay. Ladies, remember this. Submission is not some outdated or degrading concept. It's not about giving in or being weak. It's about embracing God's design for the most critical collaboration of your life. When both husband and wife submit to God's plan, marriage thrives. It's not about one person being superior to the other. It's about mutual respect and support. Choosing to submit doesn't diminish your strength. It reveals it. It's not always easy, but it's a testament to the power of your faith. Even in challenging circumstances, submission can be a powerful force for positive change. Don't let society's misconceptions influence you. Embracing submission isn't about losing yourself. It's about finding strength in your faith and the love and support of your partner. It's about following the example of Christ, who submitted to God's will with unwavering confidence. So hold your head high and remember that submitting doesn't make you less of a woman. It allows you to be exactly who God created you to be. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm thrilled that you did. And I hope you found this helpful in many ways. Remember to love yourself and your neighbor. And don't forget to stay blessed. Feel free to follow me on all my social media. Share, comment, and spread the love. I'm looking forward to seeing you here again. Take care and stay blessed. Look out for the part 2. If you haven't had it today, let me be the first to tell you, I love you. And I believe in you to make the best out of life. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Take care and God bless.